this is Earthy Indigo, psychic, medium, intuitive, and tarot card reader. This is celebrity psychic reading for Ivanka Trump. The energies that come through around Ivanka is the energy of being proud of where she stands in the administration, feeling like it's a position of it just feels like she's proud, but she is also energy of her being torn in her feelings of feeling proud, and also being torn between the truth, where she stands in America, where she stands as a woman and who she is at her core, and who she was born into being. It's like a feeling of being proud, like energy comes in like she's proud of the accomplishment of having her father in a position to put her in position her whole life, but also being ashamed at what her privileged lifestyle and what her privilege gets her. It's like she's very aware. The energy that comes through from her is like she's standing in who she is. She's aware of who she is. She's aware of how she has been able to get to where she has gotten, not just in the White House, but as a white woman, as a woman born into privilege. Is she knows, but she also knows the ugly side of what her privilege lifestyle and who she is and what her skin represents. It's like she's very aware, but it's the energy of her not giving up any of her amenities or her privilege, or looking, it's not an energy of being so ashamed that she's willing to give any of it up. But she's very aware. There feels like inside of her there is a rising guilt, and it feels like it's been trickling in throughout her life. Not in her teenhood, definitely not in her childhood, but in her adulthood, especially now. There is a guilt that's starting to raise in her, but it doesn't feel like she's going to step away from it. But it does feel like it feels like the administration, the system, the people, it just feels like they're going to continue to push this agenda of her being the soft spot in the White House, or her being the decoy, or her being the pretty spot, or the smelling the nice flower in a room full of shit. Like all of this horrible stuff is going on to the right, but look at her, she's holding her baby and she has, that's what they're trying to do. She knows that she's a pond. Like, she knows her position, or she knows she's a rook. She knows what her position is. She knows there's also an energy that, with all of the hostility and anger that is pouring in toward the administration and the Trump administration, so much hatred and divisiveness that this administration helped to, it feels like the divisiveness and the separation of the country had been pouring on for years. But it feels like with this administration and her being a part of it, it's like she's become even more aware of how much her family and what they represent in America, and how much it's disliked and how distasteful things are. But her position and what it feels like, the energy that comes in from the background and the people that's pulling the strings, is that she is supposed to be the distraction, and she is supposed to be the light. Look at this white woman with her pretty baby, and she's supposed to be the epitome of what America represents. The soft side. That's the energy that they're going to always try to deflect to her. They're going to always try to deflect to her. And it feels like it's starting to weigh in on her and bother her. The energy between her and her father is that she dare not switch up, or that she dare not turn her back, or that she dare not. And that's with all of the children. There's an energy that they know what team to play for, because to make Daddy or Donald mad is to start a lot of shit. It's just to start a lot of shit. It feels like the energy, the communication between them is stay on his good side. Just stay on his good side. Stay on his good side today. That energy comes through very strong. Just stay the golden child and stay on his good side. The energy is that Ivanka is his favorite child. Like, she is his favorite. But it's still, and she gets away with a lot more than the other children do. He has no problem with threatening them to, cut them off, or not send money, or cut ties with this, and stop investing in that, and stop paying for this, and cut this off, and they won't receive this. Not Ivanka. Very seldom has he thrown those her way. She is his precious, his princess, the golden child. As far as he is concerned, she can do no wrong. The energy that comes through is that she's going to start, it feels like within year 2, year 3 of the presidency, because it feels like around year 2, year 3, there's going to be a big uproar. And it feels like the mid of his second year, even huger. I know it's been a lot of uproars now, but it feels like year 2 is going to be a huge uproar. And it feels like she's going to be in the middle for something that she said, and it's going to look like, even though she dare not turn her back, even though she dare not do this, even though she dare not, and it's her energy, the energy that comes through is her job to be a deflection from all of the shit and ugliness of the administration. She is supposed to be the flower, what smells good, what looks good, the epitome of, deflection. That's what she's supposed to be. Feel like she's gonna say something that's in defense of, quote unquote, the other side, the opposing team, the middle class, the poor, the working class. It feels like she says something that's in oppose to the agenda that's in the White House now. And then it feels like the media is going to turn it into this uproar. Well, even the daughter is saying, even Ivanka is against what her father is doing, and he's the president. Who does that? Like, that is going to happen. That is going to happen. She's going to say something that deflects, or, goes against the agenda of the administration. And it's not to give her, the energy is they want her to look like she's the one with the honey on her breath. Like, Trump can't be that bad of a guy if he raised that great of a daughter. And she's supposed to be the breath of fresh air, the honey, the Febreze, the poopery. Like those commercials where they spray the spray for somebody who just took a shit. The poopery spray. That's what she's supposed to be. But even she's going to say something that's against the administration, and the media is going to flip it and say, well, if she feels like this, but the agenda of her father is this, and it starts like a lot of controversy. And it feels like that's building up inside of her now. Right now, she's playing her position. She's playing her position. It feels like she's been bred to play her position, but it doesn't make her unaware. The energy that comes through is she is very aware. She's not stupid. She's not dumb. She's very aware of what it means to be her in America. She's very aware of her privilege. She's very aware of the suffering in the world, in the country, the poor, the working class, the people without medicine, all of these things. She's very aware, but it doesn't feel like she's willing to turn her back completely on what she's been given, or her halo, quote unquote, with the horns. Like, she's not willing to give anything. It just doesn't feel like she's willing to give anything up, even though she's very aware and she's internal. Like, it feels like it's starting to bug her. It's starting to bother her. It feels like she wishes that, even though she's very proud because of what it means to be in the White House and what it means to have this position power-wise, what it means to have made it this far power-wise, she's still very aware of how, and that bothers her. It's not that much of a stretch. It's not that much of a fight. It's not that much of a everything was given. Everything was made easier. She's very aware. It's an energy of them strategizing and just trying to figure out how we're going to continue to play this. It feels like right now she's unhappy with her husband. It feels like she's unhappy with her husband. It feels like she feels slightly trapped with him. And it just, energy that comes in from her husband is that he can be conniving. And it feels like she feels sandwiched between her father and her husband. There's an energy of feeling sandwiched in between her father and her husband. She doesn't quite feel, the energy comes through and says she feels sandwiched. But she has room to breathe and to turn her neck from side to side. It feels like she is going to cause an uproar. It's not going to turn her father against her. They're going to just, swoop it under the rug. But it feels like this will be around the time when her father is already under a lot of scrutiny. And it feels like he'll be kind of on his way out or in some hot shit. And she's going to say something that goes against the agenda of her father and the administration. It feels like the media is going to have a field day with this. But this feels like it'll be around the time. It feels like it's like the second year, mid-second year. Feels like it's going to be some hot shit. Almost this middle second year, it feels like it's going to be a lot of impeachment talk. A lot of working towards impeachment. And it feels like this would be toward work because of some foreign act of war or some foreign act committed against us in the States, some type of way that really pushes the impeachment talk. And it feels like it will proceed to the courts. And it also feels like that's why she comes out and tries to, it feels like that's why she comes out and tries to make light or tries to make things better, but it ends up making things worse and making certain Americans very angry because you look and it's like you're in this gilded cage or in this gilded castle. You're not worried about your kids starving. You're not worried about them ever going without. You're not worried about a roof over their head. There are certain things that you never have to worry about. Yet you tell me, blah, 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 look at me, your great white hope. And it's not the same for everybody, whether it be poor white people, poor people of color, middle class white people, middle class people of color. It's still the same. Middle class or poor immigrants, middle class immigrants, whatever. It's not the same. And you flaunt your privilege. You flaunt it. And it feels like what she says causes this uproar that doesn't save her, or doesn't, she loses that halo. It doesn't save her or the administration. It feels like it makes the country attack. It makes the people attack. And I don't mean necessarily violently. It could be riots and protests and everybody getting out and everybody, of course, starting blogs and going against. But it feels like it makes everyone attack, because it makes them turn and look. Like, here I am standing in my rags trying to figure out how I'm going to get grandmother's medicine and feed granny and feed me and whatever the case. And you're telling me to chin up? Is that kind of an energy. And she feels like, the energy that's around her right now is conflicting. It feels like she feels sandwiched between her father and her husband. The energy that comes through from her husband is like she loves her children, but the energy that comes through from her husband is like, what did I get myself into? It feels like she was a trade-off. Like she was a trade-off in a sense to him. It does feel like she loves him, but it feels like verbally sometimes he could say horrible things. The energy that comes from him is very conniving, very verbal abuse. It's like verbally abuse. Like he says nasty things. Nasty things. And she is not a bad looking woman. She's a pretty woman. But he still says little nasty things. Like he says nasty things that could hurt a woman's ego or confidence or keep her feeling small. And that's the attack mode that he tries to do. Like he tries to keep her small and lets her know that her father isn't, before he became the president, lets her know that her father isn't the richest man in the world. Because look at my family. Like, it's just the energy that comes through the mess. Like he says some of the most conniving things and hurtful. But there still is love there. Even beyond that, there's a love there, but it's some darkness there too. A lot of darkness. He's not opposed to a backhand or a smack or a pinch. Like the energy that comes through is like he would pinch really hard. Pinch and twist it and tell her to shut her mouth. That's the kind of energy that comes through. There also feels like there's this agenda that's even before she does the slip up mid-second year in presidency. But there's an energy before that she is going to start this pro-woman kind of a campaign. Like she's about to start campaigning and speaking about, women empowerment, women girl power, women in like this kind of thing, but it still plays to the back of the man. It still plays to the back of a woman know your place. It definitely still plays to the back of women's rights. It's not 100% woman, but they're trying to sway it. They're trying to, slow things down and mild the heat that's going on in the country around women and women's rights. It's like they're sending her out to be the cleanup woman, to put the milk and honey back into what America, and to ease the white woman's fear of her rights being taken away and her reproductive rights. And they're still doing the backhanded shit. But to ease, it feels like to ease the white woman's fears, they're about to send her out. But in on this campaign and speaking across the country, news, media, all of that, they're about to send her out to try to smooth things over, put honey on the breath, calm down this pro-woman agenda, like calm it down. But she's going to be speaking pro-woman, but she's also going to be putting in undertones of, play the back, it's okay to play the back, it's okay to be, it is okay to be a soft woman, to be a soft feminine woman and know your femininity. But we still are in a time where women are not given equal pay or reproductive rights or reproductive care. Like, it's a lot, but they're feeling like they're going to be sending her out to smooth things. They're going to start sending her out to smooth things, to try to smooth things. They're also going to try to use her to smooth things with the media. It's like whatever it is her father does that's hard hitting, they're going to try to send her in to be the milk and honey, to smooth it out. Now, of course, minorities, the energy that comes through, of course, minorities not believing anything for the most part that comes from this administration anyway. But it feels like they're more so sending her out to calm the fear of the middle class white woman. And they feel like everybody else will follow suit after that. That's the energy. Like, if the middle class white woman is comfortable, then she'll treat everybody else a little bit nicer. And then everybody would feel comfortable and a little safer. But too many people across the country are dying, being beat, raped, and nothing ever gets, it's never the same. And it feels like mid-year of the second year in his presidency, it could even be before that, there will be strong impeachment talk. Even it going to court. It could even be before then, but it feels like the second year, feels like she's going to keep trying to do things to smooth things over. But it makes matters worse. By that time, she's just going to want this whole thing to be over. And she's going to want to go back to her life before all of this happened, when she wasn't under so much scrutiny. As far as her businesses goes, it's energy around her moving some businesses, it feels like overseas, or there's a energy of some businesses being moved overseas, or operations. It's energy of they're strongly looking into that now. Operations. It feels like for her clothing line to be moved overseas. And that's going to spark up controversy, because it feels like that's going to be released to the public. And it was supposed to be bring jobs back. And it feels like a scandal also with her is going to be, they're going to release some information about some of her operations and things being produced overseas. And why don't you produce that here in America if you care so much? That feels like more retailers are going to be dropping her. But it also doesn't feel like, it feels like where they drop her in the stores, it feels like online, it boosts sales. Like it doesn't feel like she ever goes where it's like a struggle really with her selling her product. It's just always her moving the retailer. And it feels like she's going to go a lot of, before the presidency is over, doesn't feel like it's going to make it to the third, fourth year. But before it's over, she's going to, a lot of her business sales wise will be more so online than in the stores, because a lot of stores are dropping, and it feels like a lot of her business is going to be more so online. And it doesn't feel like she has a drop in sales. It just feels like she moves retailers. It has to move, 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 move. That's the energy that comes through. All right, I'm Earth Indigo, psychic, medium, intuitive, and tarot card reader. Click on the link in the description to book your reading. Remember, it's 3 questions for $10. I'm Earth Indigo, and I love to read for you. Bye.